Hey entrepreneurs, I'm going to give you one simple filter that's going to help you to know whether you should let somebody go from your team. We've talked a lot about this concept that really productivity can only go so high when it comes to optimizing your own personal peak productivity. Now we can do a lot, especially when it comes to decision making. That's the area I focus on as a productivity coach for a reason, because that has the greatest possibility for expanding what you can accomplish. But one aspect of decision making is, when do I bring in a new team member? When do I let somebody go? Building your team allows you to expand beyond your own 24 hours. So you can only optimize that 24 hours up to a point. After that, it's really your leadership skills that determine your productivity. If you want to do things that are very big, if you want to go after really huge goals, you're going to need the support of other people. So in building your team, what I suggest is that you use this filter that if you're trying to figure out, like, you're kind of on the fence, should I let this person go? Should I spend the energy to find someone new and train them? One of the filters that I learned from one of my clients is this idea that you should have to be saying, whoa, not giddy up. You should have to be redirecting existing energy, not trying to say giddy up to get them to have enough energy to care or to be motivated in the first place. That one simple filter cuts out a lot of the confusion. Think of it this way. If you have somebody that's already highly motivated and they're driven, but they're just not quite getting the results, often you just need to show them the ropes. You just need to refine their capacity to understand what it is that needs to be done and how to best accomplish that. And if they're already driven, it becomes like you're a coach on a football team. Like, you don't come to a football team and expect you're going to have to motivate the athletes, right? Those athletes are going to show up for the game with plenty of motivation. Your job is to coordinate them and give them the insight about where to focus that energy and that drive and motivation to win the game, right? So think of yourself as the coach for your team, for your business. And if that's the case, we don't want to try to spend a lot of your personal energy as the entrepreneur trying to get people to care. So once we've used that filter and we've realized, okay, this person has tons of energy, we just need to get them some more training or some better SOPs or some better one-on-one coaching or feedback from yourself or a consultant you bring in who's an expert in that area. Once you've made that decision, how do you actually get them to get better over time? If they have high motivation, you've decided to keep them. One of my favorite strategies for that is just a very simple feedback mechanism. Choose 1, 2, maybe 3 at the max, things that are kind of in their zone of proximal development, the thing that is kind of within reach. You don't want to give them something too advanced or too easy. You want to push them just a little bit beyond where their current level is. Just choose 2 or 3 things to help them with and establish a feedback mechanism. Now, here's the brilliant thing about working with a team of motivated people, is that you don't have to build that. All you have to do is say, hey, I'd like you to give yourself a score every Friday. Give yourself a score and email me your score from 1 to 10. How'd you do this week on whatever the area of improvement is? So if you want them to be more autonomous and creatively expanding the kind of ads that they're producing as a media buyer, well, then have them give themselves a rating on that. Then you also review that with them once a week. And it could just be an email, or it could be a 5-minute meeting where you say, I'd give you a 7. And they say, actually, I think I'd give myself an 8. And here's why. And then you can help to refine their understanding of why you gave them a 7. And you can say, I see why you think you deserve an 8. And that reveals a slight difference in our definition of what success looks like for this unique task that we're working on improving your skills with. Other times, they're going to convince you and you're going to say, oh, actually, yeah, I didn't realize that. You did better this week than I expected. And so, again, what you're doing is just by building a repetitive feedback loop, it becomes inevitable that somebody who cares, who's already motivated, they're going to get better over time. Now, they may not have the best innate talent for a task, and that's a topic for another video at some other point. But my challenge for you this week is just to think about all your team members and just ask yourself, where's the 80-20 of the energy coming from? And I bet there's certain people on your team who have higher energy, drive, motivation. Ask yourself if they might have the innate talent to be able to do more, to be able to be advanced in your company, because that's where you're going to get the biggest bang for your buck when it comes to your energy that has to go into your leadership roles. Remember too that this is something that you teach to people down the line. So you want to teach this to your direct reports to use with their direct reports. Because at some point you want to be able to pull out, especially those of you who are working toward an exit, You want people who are capable of bringing in the next generation, figuring out who to invest in, to be able to train those people well. You do that a couple of times, you get a couple of layers of direct reports, and it's amazing how much you can accomplish. And it's amazing how much more valuable your business becomes, whether you sell it or not, but especially to those who are looking for an exit. It's just so much more valuable if they can see that you have layers of energized people who already have the skills to train the next generation coming in. There's your challenge for this week. Talk to you again soon.